Hello kids, and welcome back to Heroines Unfolded. Once, in a sleepy little town called Willowbrook, where the sun painted the sky gold every morning and fireflies danced like tiny stars at night, there lived a girl named Oprah. Now, Oprah wasn't like other kids. While her friends raced through muddy fields or climbed oak trees, Oprah had a different kind of adventure, one that fit right inside her tattered old book bag. You see, Oprah loved stories. Not just any stories, though. She loved the kind that made her heart race, her eyes widen, and her toes wiggle with excitement. But life wasn't always easy for Oprah. Her family's little blue house creaked and groaned like a grumpy old cat, and her shoes had more holes than a slice of Swiss cheese. Yet none of that mattered when she opened a book. Stories were her magic carpet, her secret doorway, her everything. And one stormy afternoon, everything changed. Because Oprah discovered she had a magic of her own, and it all began with a key. Picture this. Rain tap danced on the roof of Oprah's classroom. The wind howled like a wolf with a sore throat. And there sat Oprah, her nose buried in a book about a girl who could talk to dragons. But then, gasp, her teacher, Miss Duncan, called her name. "Oprah Winfrey," she said, "share your essay with the class." Oprah's heart thumped like a rabbit's foot. Slowly, she walked to the front, her knees wobbling like jelly. And that's when it happened. A rusty old key around her neck, one she'd found in her grandma's attic, suddenly began to glow. Softly at first, like a shy firefly. But as Oprah read her essay about how stories could change the world, the glow grew brighter. The kids stopped giggling. Even Tommy, the class bully, leaned forward. Miss Duncan smiled a secret smile. "After class," she whispered, "that key isn't just metal and rust, Oprah. It unlocks courage. But only if you use your voice for good." Oprah's mind buzzed. Could this be true? Was she magic? Later that week, Oprah chased a cheeky squirrel into the woods. Deeper and deeper she ran until, whoosh, she tripped over a root and tumbled into a clearing. And there, hidden behind a curtain of ivy, stood the most peculiar building she'd ever seen. Its stone walls were cracked, its windows dusty, but above the door hung a sign that made Oprah's breath catch. Library. Not just any library, though. This one hummed with a sound like 1,000 whispered secrets. Suddenly, a snowy owl swooped down, flap, flap, landing on a branch right above her. "Welcome, key bearer," it hooted. "This is no ordinary library. Here, stories come alive." Before Oprah could ask questions, the owl nudged her inside. Books floated mid-air, pages flipped on their own. And when Oprah touched a book called The Girl Who Swallowed the Moon, the room exploded into color. One moment, she was in the library. The next, she stood in a meadow under a shimmering silver sky, chasing a laughing girl who'd literally swallowed the moon. "Magic is real," Oprah whispered. But the owl warned her, "Magic fades if you don't feed it with courage." And oh, would Oprah need courage soon. Back at school, Oprah faced a new challenge. Tommy, the bully. He teased her for talking like a dictionary and tripped her during recess. But one day, Oprah followed Tommy to the park and saw something unexpected. Tommy sat alone on a swing, his shoulders shaking. Tears dripped onto his sneakers. Oprah's key glowed warmly, urging her forward. "Tommy," she asked gently, "what's wrong?" And that's when Tommy shared his secret. His dad had lost his job. "He says I'm worthless," Tommy mumbled. Oprah's heart ached. She knew that pain. Her own dad had left years ago, and some nights, she wondered if she was worthless too. But then she remembered Miss Duncan's words. Use your voice for good. So Oprah sat beside Tommy and said, "You're not worthless, you're like a story that hasn't been read yet, and I bet it's awesome." Tommy wiped his eyes. The next day, he slipped Oprah a note. "Thanks for not laughing." And just like that, the key around Oprah's neck glowed a little brighter. Weeks later, disaster struck. Rain poured for days, turning Willowbrook's river into a roaring monster. Water crashed into streets, swallowing gardens and shaking houses. Oprah's family huddled on their rooftop, terrified. But Oprah remembered the owl's warning: magic fades if you don't feed it with courage. Clutching her key, she sneaked out, battling the storm to reach the town's old radio station. Inside, she grabbed the microphone. The key blazed like a tiny sun as she shouted, "Willowbrook, we need help. Bring boats, bring ropes, please." But as she spoke, the key began to crack, snap. Pieces clattered to the floor. Oprah panicked. Without the key, could she still be brave? But then she heard something miraculous. Sirens, engines, voices shouting, "We're coming, Oprah!" The key was gone, but Oprah's voice had worked all on its own. She'd unlocked the real magic, the kind inside her heart. From that day on, Oprah became Willowbrook's hero. Not because of a magic key, but because she chose to be brave. She hosted radio shows, wrote stories about her town's history, and even convinced Tommy to paint a mural of the library's magical owl. Years later, when Oprah stood on a bright TV stage speaking to millions, she smiled at the tiny scar on her chest where the key once hung. "The greatest magic," she said, "isn't in glowing keys or talking owls. It's right here." She pointed to her heart. "Your voice matters. Use it to light up the world." And somewhere, in a hidden library deep in the woods, a certain snowy owl hooted with pride. Until next time, don't forget to share this story with your friends and family. Bye-bye.